I'm here with Mufaddal, and today we're going to be doing a part 2 mock.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
That's you, isn't it?
That's me.
That's definitely you. Can you read the number plate on that red car?
Oh, I did a mistake. Got the normal glasses for good.
You didn't bring your glasses?
It does far one.
I get Mufaddal to move closer twice, but he still can't read it.
So if this was your part 2, what would have happened?
It's failing.
You would have failed. Okay, I now need to see whether you can read a number plate at the legal limit to drive a car. Can you see the white BMW?
Yeah.
Can you read that number plate?
YB66 UVL.
That's it. So could you identify where the brake fluid would go and how would you check it?
So brake fluid reservoir is here, and then we can see the fluid should be inside, in between the minimum and maximum.
That'll do. You want to close it up? For any of you that are new to the channel, a part 2 mock is one of the exams or one of the tests you need to do in order to pass to become a driving instructor. Part 1 is your theory, part 2 is the driving test, and part 3 is the instructor abilities test. And today, obviously, we're doing a part 2 mock. Mufaddal has also contacted me through Instagram. If you are interested in doing a mock test on the channel, then I'll put my Instagram down here. Follow me, send me a DM, and then we can talk about it. And just like always, like, comment, and subscribe, because it really does boost the video, pushes it out to a wider audience, and really appreciate the support. Okay, over to you, sir. So Mufaddal, you contacted me through Instagram, and you have already taken a part 2 test, yes?
I did, yes.
And how did that go?
I was just bit in rush. Wasn't no many dates available, so I just booked in one test to see how it's go, and then
It didn't quite go to plan, did it? And you're currently in training, yes? So you've done some training.
I'm doing everyday training.
You're doing everyday training, but you've had some training
I
from
had
a
some
provider.
training as well.
Obviously, you wanted to come to me because you wanted to get another assessment before you go.
Another assessment, so I can do better and definitely pass on the next one.
Pass your next one, yeah, it's important, isn't it? How many attempts are you allowed?
You're allowed 3.
3. Okay,
Only 2 left for me.
So there's only 2 left. Yeah, that's fine. Listen, there are many PDIs that are in the same situation as you. Okay, so it's not uncommon. The importance of your part 2, obviously, the skills that you attain in your part 2 is what you need for your part 3. So you need to make sure that the standards are high. Yes?
Yes.
You clearly know what a part 2 test is all about because you've already been on one. Okay?
Yes.
So at all times, I'd like you to follow the road ahead unless I tell you to turn left or turn right, or unless road signs indicate otherwise. If I need you to turn, I will tell you in good time. We're going to take in 2 reversing maneuvers, possibly an emergency stop, and I'll be asking you some show me, tell me questions. And we're going to be driving for about an hour in all different kinds of road conditions.
That's fine.
Tell me how you would adjust your head restraint to give you the best protection in the event of a crash.
So head restraint should be adjusted, just the rigid part should be a little bit up of the eye level or just top of the ear. And then rigid part should be near to the back of the head for the comfort.
Tell me how you would check that your directional indicators were working properly.
We just press this button over here, the hazard light sign, and just come out of the car and walk around the car, and all the indicators are working.
Brilliant. Is there anything in your driving that you are not 100% confident with?
I'm confident I will be fine.
Okay, so there's nothing in particular that you want to... Okay, that's absolutely fine. So we are going to get on with this thing. So when we see you next, we'll be starting the test. So whenever you are ready, buddy, drive on.
I've not seen this man drive, and at the beginning of any test is the moment you get to find out whether his foundations, his basics, are strong enough. His observations around the car are a little bit haphazard, but I can understand that as he's probably a bit nervous. He does move away safely, and as a nice touch, we get a little flourish of commentary drive.
Less pace, less speed.
At the very first junction, his signal is slightly mistimed.
At the end of the road, turn right for me, please.
Sure.
It just comes on a fraction early.
End of the road, turn right.
In this instance, I don't think it affects anybody, so I'm just going to put this as noted. But it's a little warning shot of what might come up later on. At this junction, he does well, but at the next mini roundabout, he gets confused and makes a mistake.
Okay, and then at the roundabout, we're going to turn right, please.
From the roundabout.
It is the beginning of the test, and when we're under pressure, we sometimes do strange things. He checks mirrors, signals right, positions to the right. As he gets to the junction, his signal cancels. He then gets confused and turns left. You can't turn left like that, so that's a serious fault for turning left.
Okay, take this next road on the right here for me, please.
After a quick detour, we're back on track.
And then if you could just pull up on the left, just before that silver car. In this instance, don't worry too much about driveways.
We're about to start the independent drive, and then a little further up the road, he makes a small mistake at a junction.
All right, so we're going to start the independent drive from here, okay? If you're not sure where you're going, you can ask.
Sure.
Okay? Whenever you are ready, drive on.
You will arrive at your destination at 12:02 p.m.
Again, he moves away safely, and this first junction he does well. But at the second, he's turning right, and he ultimately gets away with it, but he just takes a small risk.
Turn left, then, at the end of the road, turn right.
In this small section, the audio also plays up, so I have to flick between audio channels. On the day, I mark this as a driver fault for observations at junctions, and I'm going to explain to you
At the
why.
end of the road, turn right, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
That was unbearable, so I've switched audios.
Turn right, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
If I show you just this camera angle, it looks like he's emerged safely onto a junction. But if we take a closer look, you'll see why it's not quite right. Mufaddal has a vehicle on his right-hand side that is signalling to turn left, and he's looking straight at it. But its position and speed is not 100% confirmed. And at that exact moment, he looks away and commits. Of course, the vehicle does turn left. But what if it hadn't? This just demonstrates a slight weakness.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
He's following the road ahead now at the Mill Hill Circus, and he's chosen the middle lane, and at this roundabout that should be just fine. This bus on the left-hand side does make it a little bit tricky, but he deals with it well. He waits for a safe gap and then takes it when it comes. And on the exit of this roundabout, even though the left lane is preferable, he still can do it from here, and he doesn't compete with the bus. He currently has no signal. He does eventually put it on, and I don't think it would have affected anybody, so in this case, it's just noted. It just should have come on earlier. He filters in safely. A little further up the road, he's got the hill start in a slightly tricky spot.
Okay, drive on when you're ready.
It's a busy road, and it's reasonably tight, which means it's not just the vehicles coming up behind he's got to consider. And he's forced to wait for a suitable gap. When he finally gets a chance to move, he just slightly impacts an oncoming vehicle. In this instance, it is minimal, so I'm just going to put that as noted. This bit shows the importance of just paying attention to the sat-nav.
At the end of the road, turn right.
The road markings are faded, and he's just a bit late in responding to the direction.
Turn right.
This one is a bit harsh, but I did driver fault it on the day. This next section is just speed related. Mufaddal has actually done quite well in monitoring his speed, but in this section he just takes the car up to about 33 miles an hour, holds it for just a little bit too long before dropping it back down again. and then approaches a bend a little faster than he probably should, leaves his gear change a little bit late, meaning he swings slightly wide on a blind corner. It's really the gear change that creates the problem. Always change gear before the bend. With the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, that made it slightly more uncomfortable than it should have been. And at the end of this road, he's emerging into a 40 zone, which it appears like he misses, as he doesn't break 30 in this section. Whenever you enter a new road, always look out for speed limit signs. After this traffic, the road ahead is clear and he should be picking up speed. As he's impeding the traffic behind, this could quite easily have gone down as a serious, but today I just marked it as a driver fault. The traffic behind does fall away and we do eventually move back into a 30 zone, and then I'm asking him the show me tell me questions on the move.
Just when it's safe to do so, if you could put your rear demister on for me, please.
Rear demister, I just do after passing this bus. Rear demister.
Is he trying to tell me something? No problems there.
Thank you very much.
A little further up the road, he's turning left and then steers a bit wide.
After 300 yards, turn left.
This junction does have a habit of catching people out as it turns right back on itself. There is a cyclist coming and he just slightly crosses over into the other lane. It's not fast, but he is swinging out wider than he should. A couple of bends later, we're doing the emergency stop.
Okay, brilliant. So we're now going to perform the emergency stop. I'd like you to bring the car to an immediate and abrupt halt under full control. My signal will be stop. I'll be making sure it's nice and safe behind us, okay, before I tell you to do it. So don't stop until I tell you, but obviously if you had to stop for any other reason, please do. Yes?
Sure.
Okay? And if you could move away when there's nothing coming up behind us. All right, so whenever you're ready. Drive on when you're ready.
Mufaddal is used to driving an automatic, and when he goes to brake here, he just uses the brake. He does control the car, but obviously he stalls it. So this is a driver fault for control on the emergency stop.
After 100 yards, you have reached your destination on your left. You have reached your destination on your left.
And stop. That'll do. Thank you very much. I won't ask you that again. Drive on when you're ready.
Okay.
He's now a little bit confused, and it's understandable as he's just realised he didn't put his clutch down. Takes him a while to move away. His observations are not exactly bang on either, as he's very quick with them. Looking doesn't mean you actually see, so this is a driver fault for move away safely. A little further up the road, we're rejoining the dual carriageway, and he's just a bit slow to pick up speed. It's about for 30 to 40 seconds. He's just holding 60 miles an hour, but he does push up to national speed limit. And when he notices the change of speed limit to 50, he eases off the gas and gently rolls through at the correct speed. This is nicely done. And although he didn't use the cruise control earlier, he now activates it.
And then at the roundabout, if you could turn left for me, please.
First exit.
First exit.
At the approach to this roundabout, his signal does come on a little early. He can't see the entrance to the petrol station yet, but I would have cancelled it just in case and then reapplied. He does, however, deal with this roundabout well. A little further up the road, he's turning right, and his approach speed to the junction is a little high, and his steering is affected as he goes through a width restriction.
And then at the traffic lights, which is just around this bend, we're going to turn right.
Turn right from the traffic light.
A light that's been green for a while should make him anticipate that it could turn, in which case his speed should be reducing. He does make it through. As I said though, his speed is a bit high. Going through this width restriction also he maintained speed, and it got real close on the left hand side. It was too fast, too close. And then just around the bend, a vehicle comes to a stop in the middle of the road, the driver looking for an address. Although it clearly causes an obstruction, he deals with it well.
Sure, oh, it's Audi. It's going left. Let's go.
Not the best place to stop, is it?
You don't know where he's going.
I think he might be connected with this building site here. Could be.
Sure.
But after that last junction, he seems to be rushing a bit, and when he's turning right a little further up the road, he again rushes.
And then you're going to take the next road on the right, which is just there before that bus stop.
Next one. Everything's clear. Might someone come in there?
The junction is on a blind corner, and he should be a little bit cautious. He starts to move across the lines, and a vehicle comes. If we had arrived at this junction a second earlier, this could have been different. There's no need to rush. Next up is the Mill Hill Circus roundabout.
And then at the roundabout, which is just around that bend, we're going to follow the road ahead to the second exit.
The road ahead, second exit.
This roundabout can be nasty.
Second exit.
Mufaddal is rightly hesitant here. There are a lot of keep clears and it's difficult to get across. He chooses the left-hand lane, which is the correct lane to follow the road ahead here. It's busy and he can't get across. I've said this before, but this roundabout is just not built right. He thinks about it, but he chooses not to.
So keep clear as well, we need to look for it. So, can't go there. Once the car clear, is it not possible?
And now he does the right thing. Moving into the junction at this stage now would definitely put him on a keep clear, which is not the major issue at this junction, but he would be increasing the blockage that's already there. And when the traffic eases opposite, it's now just a question of whether there will be enough space by the time he's able to go.
Yes. Hope no one stopped there. If I'm not on the test, I can do it. On the test, I can't. Still less me. Yeah, I got the space now. That's it.
His patience pays off.
Well done.
Have you seen my video on this roundabout?
Yes, I did it. That's why I knew if I gonna go there, I gonna get through there. It's take time, but anyway, I did it.
It's a horrible roundabout.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I don't like it
But
at all.
always keep clear. I try to not to get in there. Let's go here and indicate now.
We're not a million miles away from the end of this test, but because we went off route at the beginning, we still have the reversing manoeuvres to do. Through this high street, he gets a little bit confused at a pedestrian crossing.
And then at the roundabout, turn left, which is just beyond those bridges. Okay.
Roundabout first exit. After bridge, yeah?
Yeah.
The light turns green. The vehicle in front moves forwards. He moves forwards and then pauses, which encourages this pedestrian to cross. Ultimately, this does put the pedestrian in danger. However, I think this needs a second look. When you're dealing with pedestrians at pedestrian crossings, it's usually quite simple, but this one isn't. Was the pedestrian about to step into the road? Or did Mufaddal encourage him to cross? If you believe the pedestrian is about to step into the road, then you must stop. But if you encourage a pedestrian to cross when the light is green, then they're in danger from the other side. So this is a rock and a hard place situation. Could Mufaddal have done anything different? There is a delay of about 2 seconds before Mufaddal moves, and then when he moves, he immediately pauses. If he'd followed through on his acceleration, would the pedestrian have crossed? What do you think? Did Mufaddal do the right thing? Or should he have done something different?
Left at the roundabout.
The next stop is the Bay Park.
Okay, I'd like you to find somewhere to do a reverse bay park into any bay you can find to the left or to the right, finishing off in between the lines.
Yeah, sure.
When doing your reversing maneuvers on a Part 2 test, you would be expected to reverse like a professional. It should be done efficiently, effectively, with good observation throughout. And there's not a lot of room for maneuver when it comes to the control. There is a caveat here though. This is not Mufaddal's car, and I believe he's not driven a manual for a while. He struggles to find reverse gear here, putting it in gear 1 in 3 separate occasions. His initial observations are thorough, but it's all taking quite a while. He's now realised he's not in reverse, so he readjusts the car. And then again puts it back in gear 1. He does now find reverse, and then a vehicle comes up behind. He again demonstrates good awareness, it just takes a long time. He does finally get it done.
Is that okay?
You done? You done? Yes? Okay. Just give me 1 second.
Can go.
Sorry?
I just check it.
Yeah, just be careful of that camera.
Oh,
It is close, but he is in the lines.
Okay. All right, drive on when you're ready.
Mufaddal makes his way to the exit of the car park. It's messy here and it takes him a little while to emerge, but eventually we do, and he remains patient.
It's all of a sudden very busy.
It's busy. Don't want to do any mistake. It's like
What's it like driving in India?
you can do anything anyway. Let's go now. India.
His patience pays off and he finds a suitable gap.
Okay, the road is going to split into two. I'd like you to follow the road ahead if you could.
Straight ahead, yeah.
Yes.
The stop sign doesn't catch him out.
Stop. So good. Yes, good.
And the last thing to do is the parallel park, so we're going to move to that.
We're now going to do the reverse parallel part using that car there. I'd like to put up next to it and then reverse the car back in, finishing off reasonably close to and parallel to the curb within 2 car lengths of space, okay? So no more than 1 space between you and that blue car. And in this instance, if you need to stop next to the driveway, it's okay.
Sure.
All right?
Sure.
Whenever you're ready.
Overall, he does okay here. He slightly rolls forwards as he starts the reverse, and in the end he feels the need to move forwards to correct. It should be done in one fluid motion under full control. And as this is a mock test, I'm going to put this down as a driver fault for control.
Okay, brilliant. Drive on when you're ready.
We're now just 2 junctions away, so that's the end of the test.
How was that?
Was okay, well, not that very good.
Okay. Do you think that was a pass or a fail?
I'm 50-50.
Okay. All right, why are you 50-50? What are you 50-50 on?
One place, like I think, just mistake with the indicator, and then again on the roundabout, instead of going right, I took a left. I think misunderstanding on that one, left and right one.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you got confused there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so you're saying 50-50. You don't want to say either way whether it's a pass or a fail.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right, well, listen, I'll put you out of your misery. That would have been a fail.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna run through this with you. All right, you're absolutely right about that roundabout.
So, right from the roundabout.
So you've approached the roundabout. You initially put your signal on, as I remember. That cancelled. So we're now in the right-hand lane, and then you just had a moment of confusion, and then you just turned left.
Yeah,
That would have been a serious fault for
it is, yeah.
turning left, because it doesn't matter that you turn left. You can turn left if you want. I asked you to turn right.
Yeah, I should be on
But you
the-
can't turn left from the right-hand lane. So that took us off in a different direction. That's okay, it doesn't matter. So as regards to sort of serious faults, for me, that was the only serious fault. But there's a lot of driver faults. Now, when it comes to a real test, the examiner may or may not, as I said to you before, we had a conversation about noteworthy and driver fault, right? So something that's noteworthy may up to the examiner to decide whether they want to push that to a fault or not, right? But either way, there's a lot to unpick. There is good stuff in what you are doing. Your overall car control is good. It's a little bit weak with gears, but I think you said to me you are going to do this in an auto.
Auto, yeah.
Yes.
The reverse gear I was told on the,
Yeah.
I-
Again,
but-
this is not your car.
yeah.
It's not your car, okay?
Yeah.
But
I was
how long does it
overconfident.
take to look at it? Yeah.
It's like on the car park is so many learner driver as well there, so I really got confused there. What should what I do and what I shouldn't, because
No,
it's
I understand that.
they just parking on coming out, so I come out or I just wait there, or
But
I don't know how
you
long.
are an experienced driver. Yes.
Yeah.
When you go for a part 2, yeah, you're going to have to deal with situations that maybe a learner driver would struggle. You dealt and approached with some of these situations more like a learner driver would,
Yeah, some
and they
feel-
don't want to see that. They want to see a professional driver dealing with these situations. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the speed at which you took care of some of those situations was too long. I would expect you to get on with it safely, in control, but like a professional.
Sure.
So clearly, if you judge that it's not safe to move, then that's the right call because you are a professional driver. But once you get into position, it just took a long time, and then that learner came around, and then you were stuck, and then you got confused with that. Observations at junctions. Okay, my right foot raised to go to the brake. Right, we went after the roundabout. We turned left, and by mistake, and then I took you round to the right. We started the sat nav in a different place. Doesn't matter. The sat nav was then in control, and it told you to turn left. And then we came down to the end of the road, and we were turning right to go towards the Mill Hill Circus, the big horrible roundabout. That junction there was a vehicle coming from the right-hand side. It had an indicator on. I think it was a large vehicle, may have been even a Range Rover or a Land Rover or something like that. It was a big 4x4. You went to emerge before you had confirmation of speed, but you sort of launched into it quite quickly. There was a couple of times. There was another time where my hands moved as well. Did you see me do that? You made me flinch.
Maybe the pedestrian crossing on the.
No, it was the width restriction.
But yeah, I was confident to go from the 6x6.
it was just
Was it enough?
it was just the speed, and your steering was a bit off. I wouldn't expect a driving instructor to take that turn quickly like that, and I wouldn't expect the car control to be like that going through a width restriction. It should be much more measured and controlled. If your learner driver did that, how would you respond to them? If they nipped across like that and then they're going through the width restriction, what would you be telling them to do with their speed? Yes?
Need to
And as the
slow.
driving instructor, who's leading by example? Yes? So some of that could go down as noteworthy from the examiner's perspective because you did control it. But from a training perspective, I don't want to see that. And that's a weakness, and that could easily crop up and easily be a fault. Today it's a fault. On an exam, it might not be. Yes? But it will be noted. There was also another one for steering. Now, you did okay. It was just after the show me, tell me questions. We turned left into like the beginning of the country lane, and it was fine. Your car control was good, but then you just steered wide and there was a cyclist coming. So there was another one for steering. Again, that might go down as noteworthy on a real test, but again, it just highlighted just a slight weakness on steering. Moving off safely, the emergency stop. The emergency stop was a little bit, you just had your foot on the foot brake. I think you were used to driving automatic. Stop. Yes.
Yeah, I did the emergency stop in the automatic. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So the clutch wasn't really involved in the process. And then the move away safely. It took a while for you to move off. Now you do look around, but it doesn't look like you're looking properly. Yes? Like if I do this, am I looking? What did I see? But if I do this, oh, there's a woman behind us. Yes? The first one, I didn't know there was a woman behind us. Looking without seeing is the same as not looking. Yes? Okay, so just take your time a little bit on that. Traffic light. There was a traffic light, it was green.
After bridge, yeah?
Yeah.
After bridge, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, but he looked like he's just gonna come in the front. We don't want to hit him.
But again, he looked like he's going to come in front of you because of your hesitancy to move. Like if the light turns green, like if you just edged the car forwards, what would that have informed him?
Yeah, he said we're going. I would be more cautious. He looked like to me just gonna come forward.
If you really believe that somebody's going to step in front of you, that's fine. I totally understand that.
Yeah, he wasn't aware of anything around the area. He looked like he just want to go. If he just come forward, then if he's coming in front of my car, if I'm hitting him, it's my fault.
No, of course.
No matter.
Of course it is.
We need to do the emergency stop.
No, of course it is. But there was a delay between his movement and
did
then
a
you
little bit
laying
slow.
in.
Yeah,
you
you're
just
right.
stayed there. You encourage the pedestrian to cross. It's a green light.
Yeah.
If somebody's coming the other way and they don't see the pedestrian, and the pedestrian thinks it's like, oh, it's red, he's letting me go, he's walking across.
Yeah.
Does that create more risk for the pedestrian? So there was a delay between you moving, or you could have moved, but you didn't. Yes?
Yeah, I could have done it, yeah.
But I do understand that if there's a pedestrian in the road, we must give way, yes? But in that one, it was just a little bit of a strange one. When I see somebody like you're just underprepared. That's all it is. If I was to see a PDI who's driving like you are, I wouldn't be doing my part 2 yet. It's too early.
Sure.
It's too soon. There are too many mistakes across the board. When I looked at your part 2 test sheet that you gave me earlier that I saw, I'm looking to see like where are the faults? How many are there, first of all, and where are they? And they're across the board. Does that make sense? So if they're just in a couple of places and that's it, then you can pinpoint those areas and go, I need to fix that. But when you're starting to see a report that there's faults across the board, it shows that there's just a weakness. You're just not quite there. You're just not ready yet. That's what it is. So my camera's died, I've had to pick that one up from there. If you get any value from the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you like more content, and then I will see you in the next one. And give this guy some love in the comments because he's come all this way, he's done this for us, for you guys. So give him some love in the comments and see you in the next one.
Subscribe. Like and
subscribe. Get well out.